Prof, we are grateful. And then Mama Irene Duncan Adenusa was also with the group. Mama, we are grateful. Thank you so much. Honorable members, for Galamsey and its impact on education, Erastus Asaridonko with the multimedia. Uncle Erastus, are you here? Many people have seen your report, but they've not seen your face. Are you around? Okay, maybe he's not around. Then the moderator for that place was Mr. Derek Ekosam, also with multimedia. Uncle Sam, are you here? Okay. So, honorable members, let us clap for them for having time to come and do this delivery for us. It's not easy making some research to come and speak to such August occasions or such August gatherings. And so, on behalf of the National President and the General Secretary, we want to thank you so much for having time to be with us. So, President, on this note, we can continue with the...
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Taylor. So, I think I will start with groups that are here. And I've seen that for mutual as group, group 6, mutual health and safety for teachers. I will invite the team to come up and do the presentation. You have between 5 and 10 minutes. If you're able to use 5 minutes, it will be okay, but you shouldn't exceed 10 minutes. So, yes, sir. Thank you very much. So the secretaries will be doing the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend President. Our topic was not mutual health and safety for teachers. As we heard from Dr. Taylor, the presenter, OHENE Kwame Pieni, moderator, Professor Afimpong Boateng. We dealt on 3 issues. 1, vision for the SGMC. 2, mutual health for teachers. And then 3, how do we put the monies together? For the mutual fund or mutual health, we are to invest the money. So whatever money that we get, it should be invested. And for that matter, there's going to be a fund manager and all those that will manage the fund. And for that matter too, we will not need anybody who will be interested in 20%, 2% of the money that will be contributing. So we need somebody who is dedicated and is ready to help us to develop the fund. There will be yearly some kind of lottery where you can get money and invest 20 million of that money into that fund as investment. And there will be infrastructure available for patients that will be hosted at the center. How do we make sure that the 30 cities that we're going to come to will be safe? That is where we said we need somebody who is not interested in 2% of contribution that we make. And every money that we contribute will be invested and reinvested so that will give us more money. Then the vision of SGMC by Professor Afimpong Boateng is that the next 5 years, we are going to introduce other treatments when the money, the fund is growing. And also within the next 5 years, we'll be visiting the 10 regional NAT centers, regional secretariats, so that we can establish satellite centers there that will be manned by technicians and nurses. But the main center will be manned in Accra here, as you know, so that anything, any information there will be transferred to Ashabotre for them to give out rapid response and also treatment. If there's a need to bring them here, then it will be transferred to Accra here for treatment. But the regional one will be manned by technicians and nurses because we don't have much of the specialists. Then we came to questions and answers. These are some of the questions that were asked. How comprehensive is the mutual fund? How comprehensive is the mutual fund, mutual health fund? How will it be? And then would the new members contribute? And is the 5 years contribution okay? Another also asks, can we add other services so as to increase the grade to 100 Ghana cedis? Can we have actuarial scientists to give us the actual money that we need to pay so that it will not be something like every year, every 2 years, we can't be and discuss? How will it take to pay for the equipment purchased so far? Can we create another avenue for voluntary increment if people want to voluntarily increase their contribution instead of the 30 Ghana cedis? These were some of the answers. For payment of the equipment, it depends on the equipment needed. And Mr. Penny helped us by saying we should disabuse our minds that we are just establishing the fund or the center for treating only teachers. We should think of also treating other people in the country, not only teachers.
So you have about 2 minutes.
Yes. Then the actual scientist is already contacted, and as and when we get the number, they'll give us the actual figure that we need to pay. In conclusion, we should not be annoyed with each other. These are conclusions from the 3 eminent people. We should not be annoyed with each other because we are discussing this. And it will take a long time to establish a health insurance scheme for our members. So let's start with this. And as it grows, we can know how we can expand it. So let's give ourselves a time so that when we get the number, then we can look at the actual scientists to do the work for us. It was concluded by our mother, Auntie Irene Dankadenusa, saying a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. So let's all start today. As it was done when the Teachers Fund was established some years back, people were fighting this and those. Now, people are voluntarily even paying more money than expected. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Secretary to the group. I invite the Secretary to the group under the topic, Attracting Quality Teachers to Ensure Quality Education in Ghana. Mr. Baba Yusuf. Are you around? Baba Yusuf. At the top there, okay. Then, let's move on to Trade Union Renewal. Trade Union Renewal, the Secretary, Mr. Larry. Mr. Larry. Mr. Larry,
We were in group 4. We were there with Trade Union Renewal. It was moderated by Dr. Addison, our former National Second Trustee, and led by Dr. Anthony Yauba, former Secretary General of TUC. Due to time constraints, we dwell so much on what will help renew. In fact, he first told us that renewal is about restoring the union movement to its original foundations. It appears the unions have been weakened, and the weakening of the unions are based on certain things that we are not all doing right. So he went through with participants union principles, the principles and core values of unions. And we went through 11 of them, 12 of them. After having looked at the principles which included, but not limited to, unity, collectivism, solidarity, cooperation, fairness, equity, self-sacrifice, social justice, economic justice, and democracy. So these core values seems to have been relegated to the background. As a result, it has weakened trade unions movement. Then we look at the leadership, type of leadership we need to, in fact, he said, unions or every organization is about leadership. Any other thing is effect. But when you get leadership, well-prepared, leadership, everything will go in place. So he thought of the principles that we need to have, the kind of leadership we need. So the general principles about leadership is: 1, honesty, trust, compassion for your people, kindness, justice, integrity, accountability, transparency, and respect. After respect, you have humility. Or if you have leadership with this, it will work on well for union. Union will be re-strengthened. Then we should look at all these principles. Then it comes to question, and there were issues about monetization, political infiltration, and it came to individualism. When it came to our union NAT, people have the feeling that the administrative staff, because they are not on the same payroll with members, when they go to negotiate, they actually do not have empathy in their negotiation. Well, as much as this seems to be far-fetched, but that is the impression. Then when it comes to monetization, members say, well, if you are there, in response was, if people come and give you money, and you take and you vote for them, you ask yourself, what are they buying from you? They are buying your conscience. And when they buy your conscience, are they actually in to serve you? Because leadership is about servitude. It's not to be served. But a member said, well, we are all contributory to the monetization of whatever we're doing, because the giver and the taker are both as guilty as they may be. If the person brings the money and you don't collect, he will not continue giving. But if the person brings the money and you take, you as guilty as the one who is also giving you the money. So that was where we actually ended the questions and answers.
Thank you very much. Shall we put our hands together for Group 4? So I now come to Galamsey and its impact on education. And the Secretary, Mr. Peter Kwakpo. Mr. Kwakpo, where are you? Yes.
Good evening, colleagues. Ours is Group 7, and we looked at Galamsey and its impact on education. So we look at the introduction, and then we look at concerns and suggestions. And then we come to the solutions. So the speaker is Mr. Erasmus Asaridonko from Multimedia, and Mr. Derek Sam, the moderator. The Galamsey issue has become an albatross on our necks. And so there were various concerns and suggestions. And then the experiences from various regions. The members of the committee or the group came out with a lot of suggestions and then the solutions that we think can curb these menace. So the statistics also came out that when you have 20 students, at the basic school, 16 out of the 20 or 17 are into Galamsey. And in some cases, we have our girls in those Galamsey communities being used by the Galamseyers. And they go away to purchase some contraceptives for them. And then at the end of the day, it affects their gynae and so on and so forth. Again, some of the schools, according to one of our teachers, in the class, there are specific days or times that if you have about 20 students, maybe Tuesday or Thursdays, before you get to the classroom, you have about 2 students. All of them have gone to the Galamsey site. And because of the money that they get from the Galamsey, they can stay about 3 to 1 month before reporting back to school. An instance where they met the PTA and the parents were begging the teachers that if that is the case, they should allow the students to do the Galamsey Saturdays and Sundays. I think the Saturdays and Sundays were not giving them enough money. And so they came begging the school authority that they should give them time after school to go and do the Galamsey. So after school, they'll go to the Galamsey site, and then they spend the whole night. The next day will be in the classroom will be their bedroom, so they will be sleeping. So a member said that when the minister also said the low performance in the WASI examination, there are a lot to it. And so we look at all this and then the effects on education. It means that when you look at the statistics, in the near future, we are going to lose most of our leaders, and we may not get proper people actually to govern us. And so we need to take it serious. When it comes to the solution, I would like to mention some of the solutions that our members professed.
1 minute more.
One, there should be ban on the importation of excavators for the Galamsey and close down the companies immediately. Again, government should also make a conscious effort to provide jobs, and there should be a political willingness to stop Galamsey. Thank you.
Very much, Mr. Kwakwo. Is Group 5, the secretary ready now? Baba Yusuf. Mr. Baba Yusuf. Is still not ready, okay. Then let me move on to Finance and Pre-Tertiary Education in Ghana, Group 3. Mr. Ibrahim Adibasom. Is he here? Mr. Adibasom. Yeah, he's also not here. Then Group 2, the effective management of pensions in Ghana. the secretary, Mr. William Bodu Abedi. Is he around? Okay, Mr. Abedi, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, conference. Mr. President, originally I was supposed to be the secretary, but the moderator did not come, so I was promoted to be the moderator. In that direction, I have a complete secretary here, who is in the person of Abdurrahman Yakubu. Abdurrahman, kindly give the audience what you have.
Hi, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As said by the High Priest, we are in Group 2. Our topic was on the effective management of pensions in Ghana. And the lead facilitator was Mr. Alex Frimpong, the CEO of Ghana Employers Association. The outline of our presentation ran through the importance of pensions, the legal framework of pensions in Ghana, the three-tier pensions scheme, worker pensioner responsibility, outstanding issues or challenges, and some suggestions or recommendations. On the importance of pensions, it came clear that one of them was to ensure financial security and comfortable lifestyle in retirement. We also realized that pensions provide steady income after regular earnings stop when we retire. And it was emphasized that on retirement, a person, the retiree, enjoys pensions every month until they meet their maker. So if you live even up to 120 years and so on, you continue to enjoy your pensions. However, in the unfortunate event where the retiree dies at the age of less than 75, the survivors' benefits, a lump sum is paid to the beneficiaries. So, for example, if a pensioner dies at the age of 71, the difference between 71 and 75 is 4 years. The benefit for this particular number of years is calculated and paid to the survivors. Then we look at the benefits of pensions, bordering on financial and income security for life, investment growth, leveraging on the power of compounding, and then protection for dependents, especially, as I mentioned earlier, where the retiree happened to pass on to eternity before the age of 75. Then the legal framework of pensions. First, the point was made in respect of Article 24, 1 and 2 of the 1992 Constitution, which guarantees the economic rights of the individual, and that is the right to work. Then we have the National Pensions Act 2008, Act 766, and the Pension Basic National Social Security Scheme Regulations 2011, LI 1989. Then we highlighted on the three-tier pension scheme, where tier 1 is the Basic National Social Security Scheme, which is mandatory. Then tier 2, the Occupational Pension Scheme, which is also mandatory. In our case, the GES Occupational Pension Scheme. Then we have the third tier, a voluntary scheme, personal pension schemes. Here in NAT, we have it as the NAT Provident Fund, of which all of us are encouraged to take the opportunity to enroll. Then we went on to look at some key challenges and issues as far as pensions in Ghana is concerned. So we look at low salaries, and it was well articulated that our pensions are a function of our pensions, pensions are a function of income, and for that matter, our salaries in this case. So the point was made clear about the need for management leadership to engage the employer to improve upon income of our teachers, members, and workers in general in order to improve our pensions on retirement. So other issues included limited investment options, unemployment, and inadequate data. And here, we were made to understand that every other time we have the opportunity to walk into any Senate or any of these schemes secretariats to update our records so that especially when you are on retirement, and more importantly, in the unfortunate event of passing to eternity, when a person dies, the survivors are able to have a smooth transaction with SNIT and all other related parties in order to get the benefits. So then we also have unprofitable investment by SNIT. Irregular payment of contributions by the employer was also identified. Then other issues in relation to the Tier 2 occupational pension scheme included irregular payment of contribution by employer once again.
You're wrapping up.
Data, and then with Tier 3, we have issues such as limited investment options and the fact that it is voluntary in nature. Some people, because it is voluntary, decide not to join. And at some point, somebody even wanted to know, if I decide not to join since it is voluntary, what will I stand to lose? And the point was well articulated to the administration of members. Then we look at worker pensioner responsibility. And it emerged that the individual is the ultimate beneficiary of pensions. And for that matter, it is highly recommended and important for the individual to take his or her destiny into his or her own hands. In other words, we need to be interested in our pensions, take it so seriously, so that when we retire, we have comfortable life on retirement. So in preparing for retirement, issues such as healthy and lifestyle planning, financial planning, and also developing social and emotional networks, even ahead of our retirement, is important so that when we retire, we don't live alone. We are able to reconnect with our communities and the society and the people that we got.
Thank you.
Yes. So finally, we came to a question and answer session where at least 11 questions and contributions were made. But in conclusion, the takeaway point is that the individual on retirement is the ultimate beneficiary. And what we need to do as the most important thing is for us to continue to educate ourselves continuously as far as pensions are concerned, so that whilst we are still working, we take advantage and opportunity of the system in order to maximize and improve our pensions
Mr.
or retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. So I now move on to Group 1 under the topic addressing the housing needs of the Ghanaian teacher. The Secretary, Mr. Baba Kasim. Is Mr. Baba Kasim around? Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. President Conference, for this opportunity. Group 1 met, and the topic is addressing the housing needs of the Ghanaian teacher. Our speaker is Professor Ernest Kofi Davis, and the moderator is Comrade Kwame Alovi. The secretary is myself, Chief K.S. Baba, Secretary Walter. Introduction. The speaker explained the teacher Dabre and the affordable housing scheme. At first, members were thinking the teacher Dabre is the same as the affordable housing. But the explanation is the teacher Dabre is about government attaching an accommodation to all new schools to be built so that teachers will have accommodation at the workplace. And that accommodation is owned by the school or is owned by the state. It isn't like a personal something for a teacher to go home with. So that is all about the teacher dabre. The question is, the absence of the accommodation at the workplace, what is it causing the Ghanaian teacher? First, we said the absence of the accommodation at the workplace, one, is causing low teacher morale. Secondly, high attrition rate of teachers and transfers. 3, teacher absenteeism and lateness to school. 4, erosion of discipline. That the above challenges result in poor performance of pupils and low learning outcomes. The policy direction of the teacher dabre program. 1, that it ensures that teachers live around the school community to attend to issues as and when the issues come up in the various schools. 2, that the teacher dabre program will promote security, punctuality, and regularity of teachers at the workplace. 3, the policy will also promote teacher retention. And 4, among others, it will increase learning outcomes. The policy alignment of the teacher dabre program as aligned with NAT's own policy. 1, the call of NAT for the employer to institutionalize teacher housing project is in line with this teacher dabre program, where at least every teacher, let's say newly posted or newly recruited teachers be posted to any school will be assured of an accommodation in that school. So according to our speaker, this policy is in line or is in alignment with NAT's own call. 2, that moving teacher accommodation from an ad hoc intervention to standardized accommodation, that always it has been like government come, government go, and whoever comes will just put an ad hoc committee or a call, like it's just like it's not institutionalized. So this policy is going to institutionalize that accommodation project. Then the implementation approach, that all schools should include, all schools' buildings will now include teacher accommodation in their architectural designs. 2, equity and targeting, that, for example, we are talking of fair share should be given to rural areas and newly created districts where those facilities are non-existent, or if even they are, it's not enough to cater for them. Then 3, that the program will partner with stakeholders like teacher unions, district assemblies, NGOs, and others for the success of its implementation. Then the expected outcomes of the program. That 1, if this program should see the light of day, it will, among others, enhance teacher morale. 2, better learning outcomes will be achieved. 3, it will reduce rural-urban migration. 4, it will equally reduce indiscipline in our schools. And last but not the least, that it will, that it will strengthen the social contract between the teacher and the state. In conclusion, that the project is a statement of value and respect placed on the Ghanaian teacher for the hard work being done for the state, and also as part of seeking for the welfare and well-being. On the whole, our speaker emphasized that he welcomed inputs from the group for the success of this whole project. The group, among others, as said, President, at first, were with the view that the whole topic is about the affordable housing scheme. So the questions that were coming were different from the lesson that was delivered. So finally, questions that came on board were all answered to. But the recommendations we are given is, some of the questions that came was, what will then happen to some of our existing schools without the accommodation? Yes, and as Prof said, that the whole thing is at, is it the scientific word? It's at the, Prof, is Prof around? Yes, for now, the project is at the incubation stage. Yes, thank you, Chairman Napuru for Northern Region. That the whole project is at the incubation stage.
Okay.
Yes. So all whatever we will suggest to them, they will take it on board to make this implementation of this whole project a success. On this note, Chairman, we thank you for the
Thank you
teacher
very
development
much,
project.
Chief Baba Kasim. Group 5, under the topic, attracting quality teachers to ensure quality education in Ghana. The Secretary, Baba Yusuf. Is Mr. Baba Yusuf around? Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. As you rightly put it, Group 5, our assignment is to look at how to attract teachers to the teaching profession in Ghana to ensure quality education. The speaker is Professor Yao Afari Ankoma, Director IEPA UCC. Our moderator was Reverend Professor E.A. Odobin, President, Gnat Iris. I, Baba Yusuf Abdullahi, Regional Secretary for Central Region, recorded the proceedings and stand here to present it on behalf of the group.
So you are doing between 5 and 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. The group noted that quality teachers are necessary for quality education, and so there's urgent need to attract qualified teachers or people to the teaching profession in Ghana. Why is it difficult to attract teachers in Ghana? 1, there are hygiene factors, which is basically salary, low salaries. Because of low salaries, research shows that 20% of teachers leave the teaching profession in Ghana almost every year. This is not the best situation. Second, unsupportive school environment. We have dilapidated school buildings dotted all over the country, particularly in the deprived areas. Lack of accommodation for teachers, poor school leadership, and inadequate community support for teachers. There is inadequate teaching and learning materials in most cases in the deprived areas, even in some urban areas. The group observed that there's a deflated or eroded teacher image in recent times. Teachers are no longer respected in the community these days because of the presence of other educated people. Even school dropouts in some communities openly oppose teachers. The group also observed that poor pension lump sum paid to teachers is a challenge, and that cannot attract qualified people to the teaching profession. And low living standards of retired teachers. The examples of the retired teachers is not good enough to attract qualified people to the teaching profession. Number 6, students in discipline is making the teaching profession in Ghana these days unattractive. Teachers being beaten by their students, a lot has been discussed on that one here in the morning. Then what are the strategies to attract teachers attract people to the teaching profession in Ghana. Number one, payment of competitive salaries and allowances to teachers like all other professionals. Number two, the group observed that there should be decent housing for teachers, not any housing, decent housing provided for teachers. The group also observed that ensuring supportive school environment is a way of attracting qualified people to the teaching profession. Number four, appointment and training of school leadership to become very competent and supportive to the teachers' professional group is a key way to attract qualified people to the teaching profession. It is important, Mr. President, to restore the image of teachers in the country through proper behavior, such as adherence to dress code, professional values and attitudes, and codified code of conduct for teachers. Mr. President, it is important also to effectively control the attacks on teachers. That is not a good sign to others who wish to join the teaching profession. The group observed that there are good examples for teachers in Ghana to learn from Singapore and Ireland, where teachers are compensated well and respected. Mr. President, competitive collective agreement is important for the teaching profession to attract people to the teaching profession. Then the continuous development, professional development for teachers should be emphasized. That's another way we can attract qualified people to the teaching profession, because teachers must behave as professionals and must be seen as such. The supply of appropriate teaching and learning material resources at the right time in adequate quantities is a key way of ensuring that people who wish to join the teaching profession will join the profession willingly.
You have a minute more.
There should be a career advancement pathways for teachers. Enforcement of the code of conduct for teachers is another key way, so that there will be discipline among teachers, and when teachers are disciplined professionally, then they attract others to join the teaching profession. Number 13, ensuring that student performances in the YC and BEC reflect their true performance is a key way of attracting teachers to the teaching profession. In conclusion, if all the strategies are implemented, it would become easier to attract qualified people to the teaching profession in Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baba Yusuf. So the final group being Group 3, under the topic Financing for Pre-Tertiary Education in Ghana, the Secretary, Mr. Ibrahim Adubasong. Is he around now? Mr. Adubasong. Is he around? Mr. Adubasong. Okay, he is coming. Mr. Adubasong, out of your maximum 10, 2 is gone. You see, this reminds me.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. All right. Mr. President, I'm presenting for Group 3 on financing pre-tertiary education in Ghana. Dr. OHENE Ba Ajerim Boateng was the moderator, and Mr. Kofi Asare was the speaker. Mr. President, the group had 102 delegates, 8 observers, and 20 staff members. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, in fact, the discussion was very interesting because we know that financing education in Ghana for some time now has been a very thorny issue in the country. So when we met, there were a lot of discussions. But we know that when we talk about financing education, it's about budgets. It fits into the national budget of the country. So the speaker, Mr. Kofi Asare, took his trouble to walk us through how budget is prepared in Ghana, the national budget, and then how it is presented in Parliament for us. But what we noticed was that stakeholders in education enterprise, especially teachers, are not normally involved when it comes to financing education, drawing the budget. And the group felt that we have not been doing well in financing education because the teachers are not involved. Mr. President, we know that...
Please let the mic get closer to your mouth. God. Those at the back are saying they can't hear you.
Pre-education in Ghana, normally the key pillars we always want to achieve when it comes to financing is access, equity, quality, and efficiency. Unfortunately, because the budget for education in Ghana is not the best, it's inadequate, we are not able to achieve these targets. Even though currently we realize that there's access, but there's also a question of whether we're able to achieve quality with regard to how education is financed. And then the quality of education, equity, to some extent we are doing well, but if you compare the rural-urban comparison, we will realize that we are not dealing well when it comes to equity, because the resources, the scanty resources we have are still given to the urban schools at the expense of the rural schools. So the rural schools normally don't do well when it comes to performance. Efficiency, with regard to performance, those are the helms of our affairs, the leadership, the heads. There's not enough training. And when they don't get enough training, they are not able to do well. They are not able to supervise. Supervision is poor, and when it is poor, it fits into the quality education. And when we look at the financing of education in Ghana, normally it borders on infrastructure teacher compensation, teaching learning materials, feeding programs at the basic level, at the senior high school level, special needs support, supervision, and assessment. The Speaker, Mr. Kofi Asai, made us aware that the budget for education, we have 10% that goes into infrastructure development. We have 20% that goes into goods and services, where goods and services here talks about the consumables in the schools, and then the remaining 70% goes into compensation. So a chunk of the money that goes into education budget goes into compensation. And yet we realize that the one that goes in infrastructure is lacking because a chunk of the money is now pumped into the feeding at the senior high school especially. He also made us aware that donor funding, which used to be very high in education, is now going down drastically. So everything is on government. And other stakeholders like Old Students Association and the religious bodies is also going down. So there's a heavy burden on government to fund education. Mr. President, at that level...
In conclusion,
Mr. President, we established that there's a need to have collaboration between stakeholders. There's also the need for government to look at the funding of education, especially allowing parents to also take some component of funding so that the government will have space to have infrastructure for the schools. Then we also look at non-politicization of funding of education in Ghana. If this is done very well, it will help us. So we got to know that now a lot of Ghanaians are yearning for a space for parents to contribute financially. But because funding of education has become a political issue in the country, the government is careful not to invite parents into the funding. But we realize that there is still the need to allow parents to take some components of funding of education in Ghana, and that is the way to go. All right.
thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Ibrahim Adibasom. So, members, we now have 20 minutes for us to have deliberation on all the 7 groups presentation. So I now come to the floor. You have heard the presentation from the 7 secretaries. If you have any contribution, submission to any of the topic, I'll allow. Yes, sir. 1, 2. Get closer to the mic. We have some of our speakers within our midst, so some of the responses will come from them. If it is within their area, I will invite them to respond. So let's take the first 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do the 4, and then I'll come to the side.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity. I am Bernard Apia, Kumasi, Asukwa Municipal. I was in the group where we were supposed to discuss or talk about financing pre-tertiary education, the last presenter.
Yeah.
And during the discussion, the presenter did not mention anything about oil funding, using oil resources for funding education. But we knew that with the previous government, they were using some component of the oil reserves to finance education. We inquired about that, and what we learned was that now there is no funding from oil resources, and that the government has taken everything out and solely resorting to the GET fund for funding. And in fact, we cannot accept that. Yes, because the Heritage Fund, which the previous government resorted in funding education, was doing so well. And as a country, what are we preserving our heritage for? We cannot gambling the education of our young ones today and put the money there for them in future. And so, conference must insist on the government using some component of the oil resources to finance education so that we can have a holistic education and resulting from, if you look at previously, the enrollment of the SHS, those students who were graduating from basic education to SHS. When free SHS came into existence, we all witnessed the drastic change and the improvement of it. And so conference must insist.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Is it point of information? Yes, sir, let me listen to you. And let me remind the House that at the end of the conference, we shall be issuing a communique. And some of these issues will certainly find itself its way in our communique. So let's be guided by that. Yes, sir. Let's hear your information, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think I was in the same group with him.
Okay.
My name is Mark Anthony Kwashi from Central, Cape Coast. This question he is asking again.
He has not asked a question.
Or the presenter answered this particular statement he was talking about.
Okay.
As to the financing of education. He made us aware that government has now taken all the oil money and put it into big push. He has withdrawn it from the education as it was being used to finance. And now GET Fund is solely dedicated for the financing of education. So I think that one was answered. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Next person. Next person. Yes, you have the floor, Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Yeah, on the last record, the name is still Berima Edujemfi. Mr. President, please, I would like to delve into the affairs of other groups because my interest is in that one, especially the one I heard, something like mutual fund.
Yes.
Mr. President, I personally believe in a portion I heard that if we give room for, let me say, NAT members who want to freely donate more than the minimum, I am sure we may reap more than giving a standard amount be, which people may not be comfortable with. If we open the room, Mr. President, I promise you, people will give more than we are expecting. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Enoch Otu, Upper Dinchra, Dunka local chairman. So I'm coming from a typical Galamsey area.
Okay.
And what I'll suggest is that GS and our union, as a matter of urgency, should take a drastic measures to protect our colleague teachers who teach at typical Galamsey areas, because it has been a security threat on their life, whatever they do, whether they take the good or the bad decision. Because the children sometimes go to the extent of bribing the teachers not to take any punitive measure or whatever against them when they are going wayward. And then and when you accept it, when you accept the bribe, you are doing an illegal thing. When you reject you in the night or at where you don't expect people to be harming your life will be under threat. And so there should be a drastic measure about the security of our members who are teaching at a typical Galamsey-prone areas. Shortly on the pensions, Mr. President, it has reached a point that we need to advise members and ourselves to prepare towards retirement at least age 40 or 45 going, because no matter what you do, the deductions about paying SNAID, teacher fund, whatever, no matter the amount you deduct, it can never take care of you from 60 up to time you die. So you prepare towards that. If not that, all the deductions, you get about 5 deductions towards pensions, and then anxiety and then financial problems and other things set in, and then even during our retirement, you get all sicknesses. All
Thank
these
you
as a
very
result
much.
of how we manage our funds when you're active.
Thank
you.
you. Next
Thank
person.
you. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity. Emmanuel Nyavo is my name, Accra Metro West Chair. Taking it from the last speaker, when it comes to pension, I want to appeal to members that we shouldn't consider it from age 40, but from the first day you start earning salary, you should start preparing towards your pension, and that will go a long way to help you. My second point is on educational outcome linking to the finance that has been said. I humbly want to propose that sometimes we propose things for government to do. Currently, we are having Nat Iris. That's a tertiary institution in our name. The various religious bodies are collaborating with government, and government pays staff and other people, things, supply everything, but they also have a key role in their institution. Why wouldn't we start as NAT from the basic level, having a demonstration school, whereby government will pay salary and everything? Then we will be key stakeholders, like PTA members. We send our awards, so that when it comes to a model school that we have been proposing for government, we can together help start up from that level. That is a basic school in a region and a senior high school. When we start that way, whatever we propose to the government and they are not getting it well, we can demonstrate it from that level, and this will go a long way to help us. So let's look at that very well, so that we will not send our children to the private schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member.
Yes, so I'm Dominic Bulsa Nat, Chairman. On the issue of mutual health and safety for all teachers, the presenter indicated that they do not want somebody who will come and demand for 2% payment. But I want to find out what they said. They want to do investment, but they don't want to pay. So what are the available options that they have? Or even if one of us is to do it, can we do it with that payment? The second thing has to do with the housing. You know, the president said about 500 million was the budget for housing. And that next year it will be 1 billion. But they will clap their hands for him, right? So I'm expecting that when this committee met, they should be interested in finding out, is that money there, or when are we starting exactly? So that we don't just hear the talk. The president has 3 years to go. So we should be making an arrangement with him. You have given us 500 million. You want to give us 1 billion next year. So when exactly do you want to start with the housing project? So that going forward, we can get them by their own words. Thank you very much.
Is there any other hand? So extreme 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, regional chair, 6, 7, 8, 9. That will be the final one, so that I will allow our speakers, if they have any contribution, then we break for the lunch.
Thank you very much, President. Please, I was on group 4. And then we discussed about...
Please speak to the mic, please.
We discussed about the trade union renewal. I am here to top up on what our secretary came to say. There were some salient points that were discussed that he left out. And so I am adding up, please. And our speaker taught us that the teacher unions are weak because we are disunited. Disunity is one of the things that has caused the teacher unions within and between That is even in the NAT itself and outside NAT with other teacher unions. And that is why our unions need renewal. And the implication is that teachers have now become vulnerable. And that is why people anywhere can come in and attack teachers anyhow. And so if we are able to go and build on the integrity or the principles for which the teacher union was established, all these problems will be solved. Another one is the poor standard of living on the part of teachers. Another one is the poor salary teachers are receiving now, because the teacher unions don't come together to solidly take a decision on what we want. And so now we have low wages and poor salaries. And so what should be done is that we need leaders who are principle-centered.
Thank you very
In
much.
other words, leaders with integrity. And he taught us that leaders with integrity are people who are coming to take care of our finances, our human resource, and so they will be able to fight for us.
Thank you for adding up to that of your secretary. God bless you for adding up to that of your secretary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. My name is Prosper Boamananatu, the district chairman for Jasikan. Mr. President, when the group on mutual health, the secretary was present, he made a statement, and that is, it will take a long time to institute a health insurance scheme for teachers. I think this statement is not encouraging at all, because members out there are looking out for a health insurance scheme. And so I suggest, if conference can consider a period, if not immediate, we should have a period at which we'll work towards. But to make a statement that it will take a very long time, that long time can be when Jesus will come, no one knows. So we should look at a period and work towards it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm John Israel Agbaude from Northtown. My issue has to do with the mutual health component of our discussion. I want to plead with the House that the beneficiaries of the cancer center should help us at the district levels, at the regional levels, to help propagate the issues to the grassroots. If not, those of us who are here agreeing on the 30 cities, trouble awaits us. So I'm pleading with the House and leadership that they should support us and organize seminars at our district levels and regional levels so that teachers can be well educated by the beneficiaries of the cancer center. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me take the regional chairman. Point of information. Master, Chairman, sorry, let me listen to the information the member have for us.
Mr. President, thank you. I was at the NAT Mutual Fund Syndicate grouping. We did not say it will take a very long time to have
the mutual fund,
the mutual
scheme also
health, but we were talking about comprehensive. There is difference between what is said and what was said. Comprehensive package includes a lot. That was where we were saying that all the speakers can attest that it will take some time or
it's a gradual process.
So please, comprehensive.
Thank you very much. Let me take the regional chairman now. Chairman, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, the chair. With the teacher Dabre, as part of our discussions, it came out that in some communities, bungalows are there, but the teachers refuse to stay within these bungalows, simply because there is that lack of electricity and other things that will help keep the teacher in these bungalows. So as part of our recommendations, we are indicating that if these new accommodations are going to be built in areas where they are lacking,
okay,
we are suggesting that government try to connect them on the national electricity grid. Or in places where we don't have this electricity, the solar panels can be provided to help keep our teachers in these areas. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now let me come here first. I'll be there. I want to take two and then come to two and then we'll please. Remember, you have the floor.
Thank you for the opportunity. I go by the name Ejenim Boatin, Ejusugabin, District Gnat Treasurer.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, there is this thing. My point has to do with trade union.
Okay, the renewal.
Yes, please, Mr. President. There is this thing. I don't know whether union leaders have taken notice of it. When you open your pay slip,
okay,
our income tax and then our Senate contribution. Mr. President, the collation is very bad. So as they are going back to the drawing table to draw the single spine salary structure again, if you open to your pay slip, the income tax is 963 Ghana cedis, 42 pesos. That's the income tax. And my Senate contribution is 244 Ghana cedis. So the informal sector, it appears the government has little data with the informal sector. So the tax component over there, comparing it with the formal sector, I think we are not doing fair to ourselves. The informal sector, their tax contribution is very minimal.
Yeah.
But since the government has our data, it appears to have been burdened with the tax contribution. So they should look at that one.
Thank you, Senior.
Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you. Next person, Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. My name is Daniel Lavoy Aguna in the Central Region. Mr. President, I would like to talk about attracting quality teachers for quality education. I would like to inform or encourage conference to encourage the employer to make teaching attractive. Mr. President, there are a lot of things that is not making our profession attractive. I'll just speak to only one, and that is our promotion issues. Mr. President, I have said it before and I'm saying it again. When it is time for promotion, what teachers go through, Mr. President, it is not good to make the profession attractive. Especially when teachers are due for promotion, instead of the employer inviting application, it is either deliberate, will not do so, and probably add years together just to find ways and means of failing members. When we do so, we are not making the profession attractive. So I have said it before and I'm saying it again, that when a teacher is due for promotion and the employer did not invite application, that teacher must be automatically promoted. They must not write any promotional exams. And also, I've said before and I'm saying again that promotional centers should be decentralized further to district levels. The stress members go through before they write their promotion, it doesn't make the profession attractive. Hence, we can't get quality teachers to make quality education. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you have the floor, member.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Seth Ackley from Ketusa. Sir, on the issue of financing pre-tertiary education, we all know that donor agencies also support pre-tertiary education in Ghana. But unfortunately, nothing was mentioned like that in their presentation. What I would like to suggest is that anytime the donor agencies brings intervention, they practice it. We can talk about T2E, NALAB, Right to Play, and so on. When those programs fold up, you realize that Minister of Education and GES do not continue those programs. As soon as they fold up, that program also ends there. So we would like to plead that anytime that is an intervention and it's good for Ghana, they should continue it. I also like to add that Minister of Education, when they print materials for our schools, they shouldn't send them to regional education office for district directors to go and bring to district offices or head teachers to come and collect. This is costing us a lot of money.
Thank you very much.
So they should bring it straight to district offices and give paperwork to regions.
Thank you for your submission. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Nicholas Calvin Agboni, Natok. Mr. President, I must appreciate that the discussion today at the various groupings very timely. But then, if care is not taken, we may end up having a discussion here and our voices may not be heard. In as much as a communique and resolution will be issued at the end of conference, it's very important that some of the issues are very heavy than the association. For instance, the fight against Galamsey. Even the media is running away from the fight against Galamsey. I happen to be in a class with Senior Erastus Asari, and you could see that even he as a person, an investigative journalist, there are a lot of threats on him, for which there are certain issues that he is not even able to come out with openly because of the threats and then support that are not coming to him. So my suggestion critically has to do with, it is very important that NAT should not take some of the issues all alone, but let's invite other labor unions into this very fight. If it is very important, we collaboratively issue a communique. Let this communique go to government. Let's further have a roundtable discussion, an open forum on some of the matters, and reach a constructive agreement on how to fight some of the issues for the betterment of the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Member.
Thank you. Mr. President, I am Carlos Femi Yaoganyo from Ho District. I was in the group of managing pensions. I want to suggest that the union advocate for a specific timeline for the processing of pension benefits to retirees. And number two, I want to also suggest that the nation have pensions hedged against inflation so that our investment in pensions will not be wiped out when inflation changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Member.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Gilbert Francis Afo, District Chair for Jabuso. I want to talk about Galamsey, and I want to make a passionate appeal. Recently, a colleague of mine was pregnant and went to the hospital. And then we realized the child was not forming well due to the kind of water we are drinking. I am from Jabuso.
Okay.
If you come to our place, Galamsey, very serious. Please, I know we are going to issue a communique. I'm pleading that we emphasize on this, because some of us, we are even afraid to drink water from our places, and we are resorting to buying bottled water. We don't even have money, but that is what we are doing. So I'm pleading. And then my next issue is on financing pre-tertiary education. It looks as if we are not investing much in the basic schools. Our attention is on the higher levels. I don't know why we should pay school fees for students going for tertiary institutions, whilst we are not resourcing CISOs and other people to do monitoring. If you come to our district, at times we move to companies and businesses to beg for fuel, to resource our CISOs to go for monitoring. At times we blame teachers that schools are not performing, but we are not resourcing the base. It is like we are building a house. We started with bricks. It got to a point and we say we want to have a story building. And we place the story building on the bricks. Meanwhile, the foundation is not strong. That is what we are doing. So I am pleading that much of the finances should be pushed to the basic level. Thank you.
Thank you. The last two standing. Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Edu Patrick, Ewutu Efuti Senior District. I'll touch on the attracting quality teachers to attain to ensure quality education. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, I will take the basic school teachers as an example. These days, they are leaving the basic school to the SHS. Why? I conducted a survey in my local, and the issue is when a teacher moves from basic school to SHS and is given a form teacher, he's being given allowance. The basic teacher, the basic school teacher, class 1 teacher, who has been with the student all days, teaching them 8 subjects, 9 subjects, no form allowance. So going forward, we should consider this. If not that, it will get to a point where basic school teachers will leave the basic and then move to the SHS. Let's consider the basic school teacher by also ensuring that they were also given form allowance on that.
Thank you. Madam, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Kodo Winifred, Tyne District, Brown-Harford Region. I'm touching on the attracting quality teachers for quality education. And during our class or presentation, we learned something about the restoration of the teacher's image. We can all attest to the fact that of late there is so much examination more practices in which most of we, the teachers, are involved. Running helter-skelter, going to bushes, writing for the case. And this case will come back again disrespecting you. I remember some time ago, one teacher said that Elena met her on the way and told her that, Madam, please go and learn. Tomorrow we have mathematics. The person doesn't want to learn because he or she knows that you write that exams for her, him or her, and at the end of the day, it doesn't show the true reflection of the results. Then secondly, there is a passionate appeal I'm making to our male teachers about the sexual relationship we are having with our female students. We have so many we have so many single ladies outside your school. Let's connect to them and stop them. Thank you so much.
Hey, madam. Okay, so I think our speakers has given us a lot of information and issues to discuss. So having listened to all the contribution, I will now come to the speakers, those who are here, to give us a form of a summary. And then if there is any advice, they can add it so that we can break for the lunch. So I'll first of all call Mr. Kwampieni. Or maybe let's get mic. Let's get them one mic. You've heard the submission from the floor. Yes, give him the mic. Yes.
Maybe there was a misunderstanding about the timing for getting to a comprehensive mutual insurance for teachers. What we said is that if we are taking any advice to the leadership of the teachers, we want it to be something I believe in will work. What Professor Prempeh Boateng thinks will work. And we are not the type who do not take evidence and facts into consideration. Before we do anything, you enumerate the risks, and you have a risk management plan so that you get there. You don't start walking when you haven't crawled. We said, give us time to do the actuarial work. We are already in contact with actuarial scientists who are doing the work. But I cannot come here and say, you want to insure, and then you are paying 500 cedis, and that insurance should cost you maybe 100,000. I pay $12,000 a year for my insurance. It covers all, heart, everything. But that is with an insurance company that has about 30, 40 million people. So let's wait and get the actuarial numbers. Then we get, and we say 5 years. The 5 years is that we finance it with supplementary funding until that center is working. It's a specialist center for cancer, for heart. We say we are going to have that. For kidney, within the next 5 years. What does it mean? Professor Prempeh Boateng and some of the doctors are going to go to your regions. You say you have buildings there. It isn't every building you can put a medical facility in. You are doing lab tests. The blood and things are being thrown into the gutter next to residential area. So somebody needs to go there physically and say, it will cost 20, 30 million to do these 10 satellites. And then we see where is the money coming from. And then later on, after we do the actuarial science, we'll say, and a lady in our group suggested, maybe the teachers can afford to say the insurance, there will be maybe 3 categories, premium, this and that, like the private people do. But we don't want we've always avoided teachers being categorized, premium this and that. It's the senior people who can be able to afford that. So you take your child, and that person take their child to the same clinic. And he is sitting here because it's premium. And you are squatting there because you are silver or something else. We don't want that. If the teachers all agree, we want hierarchy like they have in India, the untouchables and so forth. Go and do it. Some of us will not be party to that. So when we say, give a sign, and I ended with the Latin phrase, festina lente, make haste slowly. Tobo asenabra. You know, we will do it gradually so that the advice we give to you, you can go and defend it at the constituency. I don't want us to rush, do a premium thing, and then it's falling apart. I'm old now. My reputation that is left, I want to die with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think, Professor from Pombatin, you okay? Okay. Then Dr. Yama, please. You have something for us? You're okay? Who else is here? Prof. Let's give the mic to Prof.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for this opportunity once again. This issue of attracting teachers to the schools in Ghana is very important. But there are so many issues that we keep referring to. But there is this particular one which we don't seem to be emphasizing. And that is what we emphasized today, the issue of the teacher image. Many times when we're talking about the issues, we don't seem to talk about this one. But it is very important because we know that in the old days, the teacher was very, very important in the community. But today it's not like that. What has happened? Let's build back that image. And so all that it takes to be able to do that, let us do it. Those that we have to do as individuals, we call it the internal issues, let's do that. India Huni, dress well, could. Dress well. Dress well, could. Let's apply it. And let us, as union leaders, emphasize this wherever we go. And then let us also champion all the key issues that have been listed about the teacher image, the issues that need to be addressed, the salary hygiene issue, and all of that. It is at this level that we will be able to press it because we are the union leaders. We go for bargaining and all of that. So let's take all the issues up. It shouldn't be the individual teachers. The individual teachers have their role to play. They don't have to be, indulging in examination malpractices. Those are all issues that erode teacher image. All these were brought up there. But there are certain issues that are at policy levels that we as leaders will be able to champion and not the individual teachers. And therefore, let's do our very best, whether it is about the housing, the allowances, the rural area allowance, all those things. They were mentioned long ago. Harry Sawyer mentioned this long ago. Up till now, it's not being implemented. And I was telling them, if they can't define what a rural area is, we can define it for them. Let's do it. And let these allowances be implemented. However meager they are, if they are called allowances and they are there, it will be respected. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. On behalf of conference, I want to sincerely thank all our speakers for your immense knowledge that you've imparted this evening with us. And I believe it will go a long way to guide us as an association in even whatever that we want to do. So we thank you very much. And it is our prayer that anytime we call on you, you'll be ready to help NATS. We are very grateful. Conference we will be breaking and come back at exactly 6:30 and come and do the resolution. So resolution committee, take notes. Whilst you are eating, you put your things together, and then exactly 6:30, we'll be starting with the resolution, and then we'll call it a day. So on this note, we're on break now.
Please, there's a key, missing key here. A key is missing. If your room key, I think hostel. If your key is missing, please come and see me. Then somebody's phone is also here. If your phone is missing, yes. Please, some files are missing. If you have come across any file with my clear bag with the items in it, please, we want it. The one. Hey, Rose Question, Central Region. Rose Question, Central Region. Please come for your. Rose Question, Central Region. Your tag is here. Rose Question, Central Region. Mr. Ben Boabin, Ruben Boabin, your card holder with a lot of cards have been given to me. Ruben Boabin. Is this Central? He's from Central. Okay. Central Region again, Rose Question. Your card is here. Rose Question. All right. Thank you.